Welcome to this week's 52 Circles, which has the prompt Fuse. So I've got my base layer, a selection of fabrics including these sheer synthetic organzas, some wire wool, soldering iron and a piece of glass to work on. That's really important so that you don't melt your tabletop. To start with, I'm just going to arrange the fabrics that I've chosen in an interesting combination on top of the base layer, and we're not going to be using any stitching this week, so the entire sample is going to be made by fusing fabrics together. I've cut these shapes out of fusible interfacing, which I've painted just with some watercolour, so it's really great to cut quite crisp shapes out of that, and then you can just iron it onto the surface of your sample. So I'm playing around with the composition, making sure that I've got interesting combination of shapes. And then the final layers to go over the top are these sheer synthetic organzas. So I can just trim those roughly into the areas I want. This works a little bit like tissue paper in that the more layers you have over the top of each other, the kind of subtle shifts that you get in tonal contrast, which makes it quite interesting. And you can kind of build up interesting palettes of colours. Now that I've got my stack, I'm going to really stretch those organzas tight in between my two fingers, so there's really good contact between those and the base layer. And I'm just dabbing away at the surface with a hot soldering iron. When the soldering iron starts to smoke, you can just wipe the tip with some wire wool. Obviously do this in a well-ventilated space and wear a mask if you find that the fumes catch in your throat. And I'm picking out the circles in my composition, so I can see little kind of circles where I fuse the interfacing or have bits of the embroidery anglais showing through. So I'm picking out those areas, just dabbing with the soldering iron so that it doesn't melt too much away. Now I'm going to pick out some actual shapes with the soldering iron and then use that to kind of pull away some of the top layers to reveal the different colours underneath. So you can build up quite dense layers of fabric and then burn away as many layers as you want to kind of reveal those lighter shades showing through. Obviously, if you go too far, you can just melt it back over the top or add another layer. So it's not kind of life or death. You can kind of keep building it up and cutting away the layers that you want. Here's my finished sample, and I look forward to seeing yours. Don't forget to share them with the hashtag 52Circles. Have fun.